This is the Prime Sports Media Channel live. Thank you. We're going to get into a few things today, a few issues that we need to talk about, as this is the last and final game of the regular season for CU. Last week, we were all, disappointed about how things took place in Kansas because we saw a clear door to getting to the Big 12. Now, things are going to be a little bit more complicated for CU to possibly get into the Big 12 championship. Unfortunately, we need help from other teams. Now, Coach Prime said in his press conference this past Tuesday that he ain't watching games and he ain't, he's not built like that. And I respect his perspective. I am going to give you some data here as to how CU can get into the playoff system. There's a few different formulas that could be possible for them. However, they've got to win against Oklahoma State. They have to deal with the team that is in front of them. You can only play one game at a time, and we're going to talk about that game today. If they can win that game, which I believe they will, at home at Folsom Stadium, win that game, and if there's a few weird things that could take place during the games that are played with BYU, you got teams, and I'm going to name them, teams that are, unfortunately, kind of have our destiny in their hands in terms of whether we get to a Big 12 championship. Now, it doesn't negate the fact that CU will be going to a bowl game this year, and they haven't been to a bowl game. The last time they've been in a bowl game was 2016. There's rumors that maybe they could be in the Holiday Bowl, maybe they could be in the Alamo Bowl. We have to see how it all plays out in terms of the other teams that win or lose games. So they still are a bowl eligible team. They still are a far cry from their record of a year ago where they went 4-8. Now they're 8-3. They can finish the season off at 9-3. That's a hell of a record in compare to where this team was when Coach Prime took over a Colorado football Buffaloes team that was 1-11 at one point in time. 1-11, and they were irrelevant within the Pac-12. They were irrelevant, and he came in, he inspired, he encouraged, and this is why this is, despite them losing to Kansas, this is still a successful year for this program. I want people to realize that this is still a successful program, what Coach Prime has done here. Not to mention that we're hearing rumbles that there are a lot of recruits who were going to go to other programs that may be flipping or have flipped to CU. And I'm going to go into those subject matters much deeper in other videos as it relates to recruitment, as it relates to the transfer portal. That's the area that I think we got to look at very closely. Just as much as we do the young men coming out of high school, we know that Coach Prime is only going to recruit a minimum of young men out of high school. But I'm really excited to see what guys are going to flip over and transfer to CU after this year. So we still have our destiny right in front of us. I'm not jumping off ship. I still believe in what Coach Prime has done with the program. We know that we've got the man right here, Travis Hunter, that this will be his last year donning the uniform, going on to the NFL, to the pros. We know that Shador will be going on to the pros. There was a question that was asked in the press conference on Tuesday about whether these young men would play in a bowl game. And Coach Prime said, no, they both are going to suit up and play in a bowl game because we've been noticing that a lot of the high draft picks, a lot of them are foregoing, in some cases, their championship bowl game. We have seen that. But these two young men are going to, Shador and Travis, are not going to forego anything. They are going to play in the game. And that's a good thing. We have three teams. I said a week ago that if Arizona State loses and BYU loses, we get in. There's three other teams because you have a tie within the Big 12. Here is the standings. Iowa State stands at 6-2. BYU stands at 6-2. Arizona State at 6-2, and we are at 6-2. And the only way we'll get in is if one or two of these teams lose, if not three of them. Because if they lose their games, that puts Colorado in a tie-breaking situation. And I will explain to you how the Big 12 works as a rate to tie-breaking. Now, once again, I wish, and how you doing, Shirley? Good to have you here. I wish that we didn't have to rely on other teams losing games to get into the Big 12 championship, but funnier things have happened. So I'm going to go over that combination of how that will work, because we need teams like BYU to lose. We need Arizona State to lose. We need teams like Iowa State to lose, because if there's four teams at the top of the standings that all have the same record in terms of conference record, then they're going to look at tie breaking. Our task at hand is to beat Oklahoma State. That's what's in our destiny. That is within our control, by getting out there, exercising the demons of what happened last week, and playing better football this week. Already, according to ESPN analysis, they've got us at 81.6% of beating Oklahoma. Oklahoma at 18.4%. Now, again, as I said in the post or the pregame video 2 weeks ago or a week ago, Coach Prime even said it himself. You can't look at these teams and say they are indicative or their schedule. Kansas did not play indicative of their standing, should I say. So just because Oklahoma has the worst record in the Big 12 conference doesn't mean that CU should go into that game unfocused, unprepared, and willing to do what it takes to win the game by not making mistakes, by running the ball, balancing it out with the passing game, stopping them from running. Once again, Oklahoma has a pretty good running back that Gordon is his name, that they are going to employ. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, y'all. With this young man you see right here, Gordon, number 0. He's their running back. They're going to try to force him down your throat. Now, this is the problem. This is the problem that I got to remind you, is that Oklahoma has had more success passing the ball this year than they have had running the ball, even with the fact that they do have a pretty good running back. Now, let me give you his stats right here. Gordon, the second, the running back, has averaged 4.3 yards per carry over the last 3 games. However, the Cowboys have averaged 3.3 yards per rush as a team, ranking 121st out of 133 D1 teams. That's not very good. That's very, 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 very poor. That's not good football at all. That's very, very bad football in terms of their rushing attack. Their passing attack is what has been more effective, everybody, not running. Let me go deeper into their running situation with this back here. So I'm looking for CU to come into this game and do what they didn't do against Devin Neal last week, which is to neutralize Gordon the second. There are some advantages that CU has against this Oklahoma team, meaning we do have a defense that can get at you, put pressure on you when they are focused and on their game. They can make things happen. But when it comes to the fact that Oklahoma has struggled with their running game this year versus their passing game, the Cowboys, or Oklahoma State, has struggled to be consistent at producing on the ground consistently. Not that they can't run it, but they have not been consistent. Ola Gordon, their running back, has 146 carries for 593 yards, and the team is averaging just 3.7 yards a carry. They're struggling. The quarterback, let's get to their quarterback. Under Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy is their coach. He's very animated doing his press conferences. He can be very controversial. He kind of says things like it is. He has a quarterback that has struggled this year. Bowman's season has went, according to reports, south once the Big 12 play arrived, with passing becoming erratic, interceptions increasing. So CU's about to go against a quarterback that has been very erratic. He's not been consistent in the way he throws the ball, and he is a guy that turns the ball over. So even though their passing game has been a little bit more successful than the running game, doesn't mean we stay away from thinking about and focusing on the run. You have a quarterback here that has still not been as consistent as well, which is why they're at the bottom of the Big 12 conference, and CU needs to take advantage of all of these problems that this team has. When you look at their defense, they've got a cornerback here, Mr. Black. Number 2 is their defensive back that we need to watch out for. He'll probably be the one that will attempt to match up. I say attempt because you really can't stop a Travis Hunter. He will attempt to match up with Travis Hunter. This is the problem with their defense. Here is their safety, Ruckers. Trey Ruckers is their safety. Strong safety. He's pretty damn good. He's pretty good. But they've struggled. Oklahoma has been near the bottom of college football in most defensive statistics and categories. They ranked 133 out of 134 FBS teams in total defense and 102 in scoring defense. Not a very good defense. What am I saying this for? I'm saying this because I think CU, in their last regular season Big 12 game, I think this is a game in which they can put it all together. They can let it all hang out. And this is a game in which they can play some damn good football. This is a game in which Coach Prime told us that there is a very good chance that Jimmy Horn Jr. will be playing. That we're going to see him in the game. One of the defensive players, Colt, he'll be back playing. But I'm very happy to see that Jimmy Horn will be in the fold because I really think there's something missing with their receiving core when he's not in the game. Having him on the field causes the defense to have to recognize his ability to get deep down the field, which actually changes how defenses play against you when you've got certain personnel in the game that they recognize as a threat. So Jimmy Horn back in the fold sounds good to me. We've got Buckingham saying, hello, I can't stay long, but I wanted to support the channel. I appreciate you, my sister, supporting the channel. I want to say to Brandon Cole, photographer, thank you for being here. He says, Warren said they're not getting after the quarterback. They will stay home and contain until they earn the right to go after the quarterback. I hear what you're saying, brother. But I think with this quarterback, I'm going to put him back up here. I think we can have a field day against Bowman, the starting quarterback of Oklahoma State, because as I was saying, this guy has had a erratic season, and it speaks to why they don't have a good record. But we don't need to go into this game thinking because their record is bad that they're not going to try to put up a fight against us in the last game of the season. But this man has had a struggle since playing and arriving in the Big 12. His passing, I'm going to say again, they say is erratic. This is the scouting report. And he throws too many interceptions. And that's exactly what we need to get our swagger back. Coach Prime said that we need to get our swagger back. And that the team is got to play better. And I want y'all to hear what he said about getting swagger back. Let me see if this is the one. Coach Prime says they will bounce back, and I want y'all to believe as I believe as well. Let's hear him say this.
But we plan to respond accordingly. We plan to get our little swagger back and fix the things that we let down last week. Tremendous game. We still got, a little bit hanging on. We're trying to flush it. Trust me, we're trying to flush it tremendously. But sometimes there's little things that creep up on you. You remind yourself of the opportunity you had. And you pray that you still have an opportunity, but I want it.
Coach Prime talks about the opportunity that they had. We know that that's the Big 12 championship. They wanted to be able to walk into it based on winning games that they are in control of, and he wanted this really bad for the players. This would have been great. Now we are in a situation in which we're depending on not one but 2 or 3 teams, and I'm going to go over that formula with you at some point in time before we end this podcast today. I want to appreciate everybody that's watching. I hope you're doing well with your family. Enjoy your family gathering tomorrow. Enjoy your family. Enjoy those that care about you, and definitely tell people out there that you care about, that you love them. Let's get back to Coach Prime.
For the young men so badly that it's hard to just totally flush it.
Totally flush it. That's right.
In saying that, we have a tremendous task at hand. This team, just like the last one, they're not playing indicative of their record. They're much better. They have a winning program, one of the most heralded coaches in the Big 12, and he's been that way for a while. I have the utmost respect for him. And
talking about Mike Gundy, everybody. Let me put that back on here. Sorry about that. He's talking about Mike Gundy.
But we plan to respond accordingly. We plan to get our little swagger back and fix the things that we...
Let me move this up from where I had it at before. I'm sorry about that.
Let down last week. Tremendous game. We still got, a little bit hanging on. We're trying to flush it. Trust me, we're trying to flush it.
Coach Prime saying they're trying to flush off the game from last week. It was a tremendous loss to them. These kind of losses can actually affect you mentally, emotionally, but I'm sure the coaches, Coach Prime, everyone involved at CU will get these kids, these young men up for this game on Friday. This is going to be a Friday game after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. All eyeballs are going to be on this game tomorrow. I think it's an early noon game or wherever you are in the time zone. But let's continue here.
Still got, a little bit hanging on. We're trying to flush it. Trust me, we're trying to flush it tremendously. But sometimes there's little things that creep up on you. You remind yourself of the opportunity you had. And you pray that you still have an opportunity. But I want it for the young men so badly that it's hard to just totally flush it completely. In saying that, we have a tremendous task at hand. This team, just like the last one, they're not playing indicative of their record. They're much better. They have a winning program, one of the most heralded coaches in the Big 12, and he's been that way for a while. I have the utmost respect for him. And
all right. Utmost respect that he has, that Coach Prime has for Mike Gundy. As he said, he's a well-respected coach within the Big 12. He's been in the Big 12 a very long time. Oklahoma has had some good teams over the years, and right now they're falling on some hard times themselves. But we need to take care of business, okay? For the confidence of this team, for what they need to do going forward. They need to go out there, everybody, and take care of business. Exercise those demons from a week ago. Get out there, run the ball, throw the ball effectively, neutralize Oklahoma. Don't let them run the ball. They've had some problems, as I said before, on the ground. They've got a quarterback. Their passing game has been better than their running game in general. However, they do have a quarterback that you can rattle, that you can get into his head, that you can cause him to do what? Turn the ball over. And we have the defensive ends that can get at the quarterback and make him a loose cannon out there to our benefit. I want to also go over this right here. I appreciate everybody that's out there. I want to go over something again. Remember, I told you that they've got some problems with their team. All right. It was stated right here in reports that the Oklahoma State Cowboys football team has been good at passing, as I said before, but struggles on the ground in 2024. The passing game, however, the Cowboys have been at the top 10. They have a top 10 offensive line. We need to be aware that they do have a good offensive line in the passing game, allowing only 3 sacks all season on Bowman. Even though Bowman's still sporadical with the way he throws the ball, the offensive line is in the top 10, and they have only given up 3 sacks to Bowman, their quarterback, who you see right here. They have only given up 3 sacks all season. This man right here has thrown for 2,416 yards, and he has 16 touchdowns on the year. However, when you look at their record, everything starts with the trenches in football. Everything starts with your quarterback. They don't have a great record. You don't want to look at the record and say, okay, it's going to be an easy game. But I think we can exploit this quarterback. How you doing, Ed Houston? I'm glad you're here, brother. I think that this quarterback can be exploited if we go into the game better focused than we were a week ago, understanding what's at hand, which is they got to win another game to go 8-3 as they get ready to go into bowl play, and also win another game to see if there's a magical combination that could get them into the Big 12 championship game. It's going to be very difficult. This is what happens when you take the destiny out of your hands and you put destiny into someone else's hands. It impacts your ability to do exactly what Coach Prime said he wanted for this team, and that's to go straight into the Big 12 championship and also have a chance to play for the national championship playoff system. I think right now CU is ranked in the playoff system. They're ranked at the bottom at 25. They dropped from 16 to 23, and then they dropped again down to 25, if I'm not mistaken. But then again, there's all these polls tell you different things. Percy Brown, thank you for the $19.99 super chat, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Let me put you on the board right here. I appreciate you coming over, blessing the channel with support. How you doing, brother? He says, just showing love to this great podcast, keeping telling the truth. Thank you, man. I'm gonna keep
Tell the truth.
We're gonna keep trying to tell the truth best we can. When I get to the formula of how they can get into the playoff, I'm gonna really slow everything down, say everything as correctly as possible so that people can understand clearly. Because I had people send me or leave me messages or comment section and say, wait a minute, there's other ways that they could get in other than just the way you said it in the other video. There's other combinations that you have to, and that combination was they were talking about Texas Tech. Something about Texas Tech, but we beat Texas Tech, right? The tie, is it the tie system of Texas Tech? Let me, I'm going to bring this up. Let me go in here. I don't have Texas Tech on the board. I just have the teams right here who have the top records, and we're one of them, right? But we're going to get into the different combinations before this podcast is completely over. Once again, I want to remind people that we definitely need to neutralize the running game. That's what the running game is, what hurt us last week. It was not the passing game. It was our inability to stop Kansas running back, Devin Neal. Well, Gordon II is pretty good himself. Even though they have had their struggles on the ground themselves, he has 186 carries on the year, 870 yards. He has 13 touchdowns. Isaiah Augustive has 82 carries for 373 yards and 4 TDs. I'm going to say what I said a week ago. We need more guys like Augustive touching the ball. Now, Coach Prime, the question is, will Isaiah Augustive be playing on Friday? It's because I heard rumors that he's hurt. We got Hayden. We know we have the young man, Micah Welsh, who's back into the fold. But the question that I'm asking you in the chat room, and I need folks in the chat room to answer this question because we want a participation here. What is the status currently, what is the current status of Isaiah Augustive? Will he be playing or will he be out this game? Because I could have swore I heard either Coach Prime say or someone say that he has somewhat of an injury. He was injured in the game against Kansas. Big Bro says he's not playing Friday. Thank you for telling me that information.
Tell the truth.
This is very unfortunate because I thought I heard Coach Prime and the coaches say that he would be out. I'm not happy about him being out because I think he's the one running back who's been very consistent. So that means with him being out, it's going to be on Micah Welsh. It's going to be on brother Hayden to step up, to step out and make plays. And remember, we have a Swiss Army knife in Draylon Miller who can play both receiver, can play H-back, you can put him in the backfield as a running back. He can do a little bit of everything. So with him out there, we know that we have another weapon that Oklahoma State will have to deal with. I'm glad Jimmy Horn's back. I think that's going to make a big deal to what we do. This is the matchup right here. Oklahoma State ends their lost season, their last season against a Coach Prime at Colorado. They're going to end. This is what the people in Oklahoma are saying. They're going to end their lost season against Colorado because Oklahoma State has been abysmal in the way they've played this year. This I find very interesting. Big Bro, they said he will dress, but they will use all the other backs first. Thank you for that information.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for that update. Thank you. Brother Ed, thank you for telling people to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it if people do that. That helps the channel. That helps us through the algorithm. If you share this video, I want to say to you all right now, thank you right now for watching currently. I want you to like and comment on this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, hit where it says all for all notifications when I go live or when I put up an uploaded video. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And to the mods in the chat room, I respect you as well. Lots of respect for you and what you do to make this channel go in the way it does. Robinson is in the house. Robinson says that, let me see what Robinson is saying right here. Robinson says, I agree. We need to play our CU game that we won the game. Plus, we need to protect our own quarterback. Right. I'm going to say this. I think that we got to protect our own quarterback. I think Shedeur has to make plays with his feet when he can. And when it's not there, Shedeur has to get rid of the ball. I do not like what I saw. I'm going to say this again. I do not like what I saw last week, which I thought was dirty. Coach Prime talked about it in a press conference that there's no ill will against Kansas player, but I'm sorry. That was a dirty hit on Shedeur's legs. I did not like seeing that. That could have been a career-ending injury. That could have been an injury that could have put him out for the rest of the season and also have impacted his NFL career. That's why I felt some kind of way about the way he was tackled in his legs by Kansas defensive player, by their linebacker. I didn't appreciate it. I thought it was dirty, and I'm going to stand on that. That's just how I felt about it. Doesn't mean that everyone else doesn't have to have their own opinion or shouldn't have their own opinion. Coach Prime says that they've moved on from the situation. We're looking at the last game on the schedule this year, Oklahoma State. I want Shedeur to protect himself, run when he has to, throw the ball and scramble when he has to, scramble to make a play down the field throwing the ball. But also, once again, I'm going to say it again, we definitely need Shedeur to be very careful, because it seems to me that these other football teams are out for blood, meaning they're out to show Colorado up. There's some jealousy there. They see the shine that that CU is getting, and these young men are marking CU on their calendar, and they're going out there and they're playing, in my opinion, some dirty football. Last week's game against Kansas was some dirty football, not to mention the refereeing was terrible, in my humble opinion. I'm just going to tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Whether people like it or not. When it comes to defense and what CU is going to be dealing with when it comes to dealing with this football team, let's put up what they do on defense right here. Oklahoma State's offensive scheme is the spread option, which is what most of the teams in the Big 12 run. I appreciate those that are coming in. The team's base defense is a 3-3-5. I guess they call it a 3-3-5 stack defense. That will be, so that means they'll have 3 down linemen. Remember what CU did against, what other team played a 3 down lineman set against them and they ate them up? Was it Texas Tech? Was it who was it they have on their schedule? Let's double check this. This is gonna be a matchup this upcoming. This is gonna be the matchup this upcoming Friday in the Big 12. But I want to look at something. Here we go. Which team was it? Arizona? Was it Cincinnati? I think it was Cincinnati or one of these teams that kept running like a 3-3-5 stack against, and all CU did was just run the ball down their throat, and they ran the ball effectively. If Oklahoma is going to do the same thing, we need to copycat what we did before. We're running the ball in between the tackles, running the ball on the outside, get the ball deep down the field, utilize those receivers, spread this team out, do what they do. Do what they're capable of doing. Do what they know what to do. As I put this back up here again, they run a 3-3-5 stack type of defense. The team's defensive coordinator, Brian, and the co-defensive coordinator, Joe Bob, who came over from Clemson. So that's what they're running, a 3-3-5. I'm sure Coach Prime and the coaches and Pat Shermer has examined how he's going to prepare the game plan to destroy that 3-3-5 defense. We're just telling it like it is, folks. There's no going back here. CU's got to win the game. They absolutely have to win this game to become 9-3, to still be in the mix, if there's even a mix to be in for the Big 12 championship. Maybe I'm just I'm living on a dream or something right now, because this is not going to be an easy task for them to do. Travis Hunter, no doubt in my mind, is a Heisman Trophy winning receiver, both defensive back and receiver. That cannot be denied. Let me go to the part of the show today that is both frustrating for me personally and sort of a, I wish these things do happen this weekend. Let's go into my other studio so that I can break some of these things. Well, no, before we go into that portion of the show, let's go into this particular reaction studio, because I still have more video to show you. That's right. I still have more video to show you. Let's go with Coach Prime right here.
With John Treach, 9 News. All Buffs Nation has loved the ride, especially with this great season with Shedeur and Travis. Mm-hmm. But with the Big 12 title game in doubt, will this be the last time fans see them in the Buffs uniform?
No, we got a bowl game. I'm pretty sure we secured that weeks ago for Peggy. So, no, it's not the last time you're going to see them in a Buff uniform. These two and all the rest of the seniors have done a wonderful job of getting us to where we are, instilling so much expectation in our fan base and expectation in ourselves. So we're going to fight and try to go out there and kick some butt and end this thing on the right note. And we're going to go to a bowl game and end this thing on the right note, because our fans deserve the absolute best. And I feel like whatever bowl game we're choosing to go to, or whatever we choose, we're going to pack it. We're going to do what we normally do everywhere we go on the road. And it's going to be a tremendous game.
Once again, Coach Prime saying it's not going to be the last time. I know why people are asking that question, because last year and some years past, you've had top-notch NFL talent in college football where guys have foregone playing in their bowl game because they're preparing for the NFL. He's saying that, no, we're going to see Travis doing his thing. That's what Coach Prime said. We're going to still see Shedeur in a uniform for the Buffs one last time in a bowl game.
And you're going to see everything you've seen throughout the season regarding our athletes.
Rylan Scholes from Ralph Report. You guys are facing another really good running back this week.
Yes, sir.
Big 12 preseason Offensive Player of the Year, Ollie Gordon. What do you guys have to do to make sure that what happened in Kansas City?
Ollie Gordon, who I talked about before, yes, he is a pretty damn good running back. They're going to have to neutralize him. They have had some struggles on the ground, just as a reminder, everybody. But that's the man that they're going to have to concern themselves with. Most def Ollie Gordon II.
Last Saturday doesn't happen again.
Well, we just got to be, we just got to do our jobs. It's just simple. You got to do our jobs. When there's a call, you got to execute what's called. The week before, we executed what was called. Last week, we did. You just got to execute the call that's sent in. We got to do a better job at that. Tremendous. And get to the ball.
All right. There's another video that I want you all to hear. Coach Prime is being very honest and candid as to why they lost last week's game. He wasn't going for any excuses other than they didn't show up. According to him, they weren't focused and ready to play. He even said that when he was talking to the coaches in the headset on the sidelines, Coach Prime said even on the sidelines with the headset on, he said to the other coaches on the team, you know what, these guys, they don't have it in them. They don't have it in them today. This is what he said. I want you to hear what he had to say out of his own mouth so that you don't think that I made this
Troy
up.
Finnegan, CU Sports Report. I wanted to go back to Kansas really quickly. It felt like they did a lot of things
Why
on
you keep
offense.
going back to Kansas? I don't want to go back to Kansas. Kansas is over, man. Let's go to Oklahoma State.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes,
about
sir.
Kansas
Yes,
State?
sir.
It felt like they did a lot of things that took advantage of how aggressively you guys play on defense. Did you feel that? And does a game like that make you reevaluate?
I don't
things on
agree.
that side of the ball?
I don't agree with that. I just think we didn't come to play. One of the first things I said on the sideline in the ears of the coaches on the headset is I don't see it in their eyes today. Get to your guys and make sure they're ready. But that's my job as well. But I don't see it in their eyes. So they played a wonderful game. Let's not take anything away from our opponents. But before the game, we said, if they stop us, we allowed it. If they score, we allowed it.
So Coach Prime is cleaning up any of the innuendos out there. He's saying straight up he could tell that the players did not have it in them last week from their mindset or their vibe that he was feeling, the way they were moving and the way they were allowing Kansas to do whatever they want. Coach Prime said he knew when he told the coaches on the headset, they ain't got it in them today. That's probably the reason why Coach Prime had that locker room discussion where he said, you got caught up in the news clippings. You got caught up in this and thought that you were this and that and all these other things. He knows his players. He knows his team better than we know it.
We feel as though we allowed it. We allowed what transpired. That's on us. It's not on nobody else. That's on us.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Couple things. First, injury reports.
Okay, here comes the injury
maybe
report.
Preston, Shane. Will we see any of those guys back?
There was
Isaiah Shane will be back.
So Shane Coates is back. Shane is back. There was talk about Preston, the defensive back. You guys all know Preston. I want to put a picture here of Preston. Here is Preston right here with DJ McKinney. Can anybody in the chat room tell me the current status of Preston? Is he dressing or is he out? It's always good to know what the situation is. Let's go with Coach Prime.
President Hodge?
Yeah.
No, everybody's playing.
Everybody's.
Okay, so now we have it. Coach said it himself. Preston Hodge, he said Preston Hodge. He paused for a moment, and Coach Prime said no. He says everybody's playing. So Preston Hodge is good to go for the game this week. I'm glad that Preston Hodge is good to go for the game this week. We need him out there, him and DJ McKinney doing their thing. We definitely need him out there. So he said, nah, he's playing.
They maybe Preston, Shane. Will we see any of those guys back?
Isaiah, Shane will be back. Preston Hodge?
Yeah.
No, everybody's playing.
Everybody's playing.
And we have an outside shot that Jimmy is
Jimmy
gonna
Horn.
play. 88 is out. Right tackle.
88 is out. That's McNillan. So, God, I hate the fact that he's out of this game. That's this brother right here who's been playing great football within the interior of the defense. God, I hate that he's out. That's what Coach Prime said, that he is out, I believe.
Play. 88 is out.
Okay, he is.
Right tackle's out. I'm just looking at position.
The right tackle is out.
In my head right now. Maybe a guy or so special teams, but nothing that devastating. We should have enough depth to compensate for what transpired at this Saturday.
All right. Very good stuff there by Coach Prime, breaking down the injury report. Let's go over to Mike Gundy. Like I said, he's been a very controversial coach over the years. I appreciate everybody in the chat room that's here. Robinson, Ed Houston, T. I appreciate all of you who have come over and have joined the channel today. Definitely subscribe, share the video on your social media, your X, your Twitter, whatever we call it, your Facebook. Remember, you can also catch me on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is a new platform that's just like Twitter. It was created by people who used to work for Twitter before Elon Musk got rid of them all. And now Blue Sky is becoming an alternative for people who do not like Twitter anymore. And there are a lot of people are jumping over to Blue Sky. I have an account over there on Blue Sky. You can find this channel, Prime Sports Media, on Blue Sky. Go on over there when you get a chance, if you do sign up for Blue Sky, and subscribe or just follow me over there on Blue Sky. I really appreciate that, everybody. But let's talk about Mike Gundy. As I said before, he's had some controversies in the past. Very outspoken coach, speaks what's on his mind. Let me let you hear what he had to say about particularly Travis Hunter and the concerns that he has about how let's just hear what Gundy had to say. Let's just hear it right here. There we go, everybody.
Arguably the best player in the country at what he does. I mean, I don't know. He's at 135 or 140 snaps a game, something like that, which is somewhat unheard of. And he's different from the standpoint that he's great endurance, and he has a skill set that's through the roof. His ability to leap and maneuver his body and make catches and tip the ball and make plays, and he has vision and a football IQ that allows him to slow the game down and play much faster than everybody else.
If you've had players you've used on both sides of the ball, I mean, I go back, you were here with our Dub.
But not as many plays.
But not like this. Yeah, this is unbelievable, isn't it?
Back then
So what they're saying here is that throughout his press conference, they kept talking about guys who came before Travis who played just a little bit of defense or maybe offense, but he kept saying not to this level. Most of the reporters in the press were saying, no, we've never seen anything like this ever before. Then you had them saying, well, there are some guys in the past that could have done it. Yeah, but coulda, shoulda, woulda done it don't mean nothing because they didn't do it. Their coaches didn't allow them. I'm not saying that they're not guys that could have played that way in the past, but their coaches just didn't allow them. Coach Prime has created something. I'm gonna make this breakdown right here. Coach Prime has set a trend. I guarantee you're gonna have other college coaches trying to let their players or a player play both sides. You're gonna have other teams in college football that are going to try to copy off of what Coach Prime is doing with letting guys play multiple types of position. Watch this. You're going to see everyone copy. I said this before. I said this last year. Everyone is going to copy off of Coach Prime, but yet give him no credit for it. Everybody's going to say, well, a couple of years ago, you had guys that played a little bit of snaps here and there, but not the same. Not the same.
58 plays a game, and he would play 10 plays on offense. I mean, this guy's playing a bunch.
Is it a case? He can be done in the NFL? Because that's what he wants to do. He wants to take it to the league and do the same thing.
I've never coached in the NFL, so it's almost unfair for me to answer that question. I'm not going to say that he can't do anything that he says he can, because when he started it a year ago, I didn't think that it would last long.
You hear Mike Gundy saying a year ago he did not think that it was going to last long. Nobody thought that he could sustain this, but Travis Hunter is showing you that he is one of a kind. And now you've got these coaches talking about, well, I had a player and we played him a few snaps here and there, but nobody's done what he has done now. I don't care about what player you had a few years ago. You didn't do with him what Coach Prime has done with Travis Hunter. Hell, let's be for real. Coach Prime, everybody now is so captivated by what Coach Prime is doing. But hell, he did this with Travis when Travis was at Jackson State too. Let's continue, shall we?
Because when he started it a year ago, I didn't think that it would last long. He's in his second year of it now.
Yeah.
I think the difference will be if somebody in the NFL wants to pay that kind of money and let him get that many reps. But I wouldn't say that he couldn't from just watching what he's done. It is a slower game, 52 plays a game compared to what we had. Like we had 90.
Now, Mike Gundy is making a good point here. In college football, they run a lot of plays and they run them very quickly. In the NFL, they try to slow, even though the NFL has become like college where they spread you out. It's a throwing game today, but they don't run as many quick, fast plays as quickly. Everything in the NFL is a little bit, not the speed of the game. The speed of the game is faster than college football. But in terms of how they slow the game down when it comes to bringing the snaps of the football, there's a chance that Travis could play in the NFL because the number of snaps are different. Because in the NFL, you see more packages and more personnel groupings. So he could very well do this. The problem in the NFL is that you're taking harder hits. The players are bigger, stronger. You're playing against men. You're playing a longer schedule than you are playing in college. More is demanded upon you as a professional football player and demanded of your body. But let's hear Mike. Let's hear the rest of what he's saying here.
He won plays last week just on defense.
Obviously, you're not there, seeing his day to day, but you know how your program operates. So, how hard would that be for a guy to have the time throughout the week to prepare for both sides?
I'm guessing they split him on team reps, and if he goes down and works offense, goes down and gets. I'm just guessing. You asked me a question. Okay, here's your 10 or 12 concepts that we're going to run this week, and then goes down to offense. And once he learns defense, once he learns base coverages and such, he can maneuver pretty good, would be my guess. But the first thing I said was the guy's got a high football IQ. When I watch him play, I see a high football IQ. So I'm guessing that helps him play on both sides of the ball.
Is he harder to prepare for on one side compared to the other? Receiver versus secondary?
You got to be aware of his hat. I mean, I don't think there's any secret here that he looks to throw to him. And I would look to throw to him also. You got to know where the guy's at on the field. I mean, if in my opinion, if you just go out there and play and not know where he's at on the field, depending on the circumstance, it doesn't mean that you can play boxing one like defense. But
So what he's telling you there, it's obvious to me that they are going to be very concerned where this young man right here, Travis Hunter, is on the field, that they're going to spy him in some kind of way, or they're going to put their best defensive back on him, which would be Black, who you see right here. Remember I talked about in their secondary number 2, Black is one of their top defensive backs. I suspect that he will match up on Travis every step of the way in the game on Friday. It's going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds, everybody. This is really going to be quite a trip, everybody. Very interesting to see how it unfolds. Now, this is the area of the podcast that I wanted to get to. It's sort of a hope and a dream that it could be this way, but I want you to really hear what I'm going to say about this particular situation here. So let's come over here to the other studio and let's get into it right now. I appreciate everybody that's watching right now. This is Prime Sports Media. We're going to go into the scenario very slowly. I'm not going to speed through this. I'm going to break it down so that everybody can hear what I'm saying. I don't want anybody leaving comments saying, oh, you didn't say this right. That's why I'm going to slow everything down in what I say. But here is the formula. I talked about the 2 teams in the last video, the situation with Arizona State and BYU needing to lose, right? Remember I talked about that. And what did we say? We said we needed BYU to lose a game. We needed Arizona State to lose the game. Well, there's another formula to this, and this formula comes straight from the Big 12 itself, everybody, okay? Let's start with this. Put this back up here like so. Remember, you got Iowa State with a 6-2 record, BYU with a 6-2 record, Arizona State with a 6-2 record. We got a 6-2 record. Now, if they win out their games, they'll all be 7-2, 7-2, 7-2, but then there's the tiebreaker as well. Let's see how this all works itself out. Let me put this on the board real quick here. What if all 4 first place Big 12 teams win? As we said, BYU, Arizona State, Iowa State. If they all win, this is the scenario here. If all 4 teams win next weekend, Arizona State will play Iowa State. Arizona State would play Iowa State. For the lead title, in this case, the Big 12 title, because Colorado has not played those top teams. They have not played Arizona State this year. They have not played Iowa State. You can only play who's on your schedule. Colorado has nothing to do with that. Colorado is not their fault that they didn't get a chance to play these teams. They'll probably play them next year. But because Colorado has not played those 4 first-place teams, the tiebreaker gets more complicated, folks, and involves records against common conference opponents. Did you hear what I just said there? The tiebreaker gets more complicated and involves records against common conference opponents. The key is that CU has not played either Iowa State, BYU, or Iowa State or Arizona State. Moving forward through the formula here, I'm going to slow it down again. There are 2 clear ways for them to get into one of the games. This is one of the ways they can get into the game. To get into one game left in the regular season. One, they got to win against Oklahoma State, right? That's obvious. As confirmed by the Big 12 on this past Sunday. The Big 12 confirmed this, everybody. According to the league tiebreaker rules, the first Buff or Colorado, they're 8-3. Currently now, as we know, they need to beat Oklahoma State. Obviously, Oklahoma State is a 3-8 team. They need to beat them at home in their regular season football finale or finale on Friday at noon. That's Friday. They got to win it. There's no turning back, everybody. They got to win it. There's no turning back. Now, the next step of the formula. Then they need at least 2 of those other 3 first place teams to lose. That can be BYU again. That could be Iowa State again. That can be Arizona State Sun Devils as well. This is what I'm telling you. They need at least 2 of those other 3 first place teams to lose. Didn't I say they needed Arizona State to lose? They needed BYU to lose. I said that on my post video just this past week. They need at least 2 of those teams to lose on Saturday. Thereby, I'm going to say it again, thereby leaving Colorado alone or in a 2-way tie atop the standings with a 7-2 lead record. Let's put this back up here, right here. So if CU wins the game, they go 7-2. They go 7-2 in conference. They go 9-3. Now they need all those other teams. They need two of these teams to lose, if not 3. That's part of the formula. Then they need at least 2 of those other 3 first place teams, Arizona State, Iowa State, or BYU. They need at least 2 of them to lose out of the 3. Thereby leaving Colorado alone in a 2-way tie atop the standings in the Big 12 with a 7-2 lead record. Do you hear that? That's the formula. That's part of the formula. Let's go over here. Now, it gets a little bit more interesting. Or if BYU loses to Houston and Texas Tech, talking about BYU, if BYU loses to Houston or Texas Tech, this is another scenario. Or they just need BYU, Colorado just needs BYU to lose to Houston and Texas Tech, meaning lose the next few games. Lose to Houston and Texas Tech to beat West Virginia. Even if the Buffs end up in a 3-way tie, even if Colorado ends up in a 3-way tie for first place in this scenario, this is a scenario. This combination would favor Colorado under the lead tiebreaker rules. Once again, in the other scenario, if BYU loses to Houston and Texas Tech. Somebody had sent me a comment about the Texas Tech formula. If they were to lose to Houston and Texas Tech to beat West Virginia, even if the Colorado Buffs end up in a three-way tie for first place amongst those other teams like Iowa State, Arizona State, in a three-way tie for first place in this scenario, this combination would favor them under lead tie-breaking rules in the Big 12. Thank you, Colorado Living. Colorado Living says, okay, so either separate teams need to lose or one team needs to lose twice. Right. But this doesn't stop there. Here's some more formula for them to get into the Big 12 championship. Now, check this out. If one of those scenarios happen, the Colorado Buffs will play for the Big 12 title December 7th in Arlington, Texas, despite suffering a devastating 37-21 loss last Saturday against Kansas. Did you hear what I just said? If one or two of those scenarios happen. Now, if neither of those scenarios happen, everybody, Colorado Buffaloes will instead next play in a non-playoff bowl. If none of those scenarios happen, should I say, if none of them happen, all bets are off. They don't play in the Big 12 championship at all. They still will play in a bowl game. Two of the bowl games that are being suggested as possibilities, and I said this in the beginning of this podcast, would be the Holiday Bowl potentially, or the Alamo Bowl, which will be played on December 27th or 28th. That's what they're potentially looking at, but you got to see how all the other teams play this weekend. Those that lose. Now, I suspect there's going to be some upsets this Saturday. There's going to be some upsets this Saturday. Mark my word. Here's another scenario. It doesn't stop right there. Here's another one. How does the Big 12 tiebreaker work? This is how it works, everybody. The simplest way to put this is that the two teams who end up with two losses at 7-2 are in the Big 12 championship game. Once again, the two teams who end up with two losses at 7-2 are in the Big 12 championship. From there, it gets more complicated, everybody. In a four-way tie where all the top four teams win, most likely Arizona State. I don't want to see Arizona State, but I got to be honest. Most likely Arizona State, or maybe lightly someone like Iowa State, okay? That is a tiebreaker brokered by common opponents. It's all based on your common opponents. Okay? Opponents.
Tell the truth.
I want to put this on the board too as well. Again, in quick summary, there's many different scenarios, everybody. But Colorado needs to beat Oklahoma State. They need to beat them thoroughly at Folsom Field. It's going to be on Friday, not Saturday. It's on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's Friday. Then they have to hope the best that the path to the championship game according to the Big 12 if two teams tie with a 7-2 record, and the two tied teams at 7-2 will be the championship game participants. That's how it is, folks. The destiny is not in our hands anymore. This is why Coach Prime said that it was important to keep destiny in your hands. I hope that you guys got something out of that formula as I was talking about that. I appreciate everybody for watching the program today. Thank you very much for watching, for being here. This is going to be quite a game. Now, is this game 10 a.m. Midwestern time? The game is on Friday, right? I thought I heard it's on Friday, Black Friday, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was Friday. I believe Oklahoma is starting a freshman quarterback. So you don't think it's going to be Bowman playing this upcoming Friday or Saturday? Yes, it's going to be Friday. So this game, I think, was originally supposed to be on Saturday, but they've moved it to Friday. Okay. Colorado Living says 10 a.m. Mountain West time. Yes, Friday. Okay, great. I thought I was right about that. Colorado Living says it's in the Lord's hands. Yeah, it's in the Lord's hands. All right. Big Bro says Colorado will play in the Big 12 championship. Just watch. Right. If they play in the Big 12 championship, it has to work out in the formula that I just explained to you all. Things have to turn in their favor magically. We need a magic. I got to be honest. We need magic. We need fairy tales. We need some good things to work in our favor, everybody. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to tell the truth over here and shame the devil. Well, everybody, I think that's all I have for today's program. I just wanted to just give a because I know everybody is relaxing with their family. People are out shopping. People are buying food for their Thanksgiving tomorrow. And I just wanted to do a little show just to be prepared to let you know that, hey, we still believe in Coach Prime. We still believe in the players. We still believe in CU. We feel they're going to go out, they're going to beat Oklahoma State, and then maybe there's some magical things that can help us tomorrow that can allow us to get in the Big 12 championship. We'll see. But I'm going to tell you, I still believe that there are going to be some teams tomorrow that are going to be upset. There's going to be some things that's going to happen. I believe that. Let me see right here before I get out of here, because I didn't want to make this a long podcast today. Let's see. Ed, thank you for doing a great job as being a mod today, brother. Thank you very much. Give you a clap. Okay. Capital BG. What's going on, Capital BG? Thank you for coming over. He says, Coach said it's best lost the chance to hold the remote. Let's move on and hope for the best. Good point. I give you a clap for that. Good point. Let me see. PGH Big Dog says Friday at noon. Thank you, brother. Ed Houston says they better not. We're eating them up like Pac-Man. All right. Waymon Bell, what's going on, Bell? I believe Oklahoma State is starting a freshman quarterback. Well, we're going to be all over them. Shirley, thank you for doing a great job of being a mod in the chat room as well. Shirley, let me give you some love as well. Thank you, Shirley. She says, chat, let's get those likes up. Yeah, hit the likes before you leave. Please hit the like button, everybody. It really helps the channel. It helps the content to move through the algorithms of YouTube so that other people can watch this video after this video is no longer live and as we're live right now. So please hit the bell notification if you have not. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Thank you for coming over and watching, I guess what we would call a holiday show. I'm looking forward to Friday. My goal, everybody, is to go live Friday after the game, which I believe they're going to win that game. There's no doubt in my mind that they're not going to walk out of that game as victorious as they should be and can be. So everybody, with that said, I want to thank you for watching. Everybody take care. Peace. This is Prime Sports Media. Peace. Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Sports Media, baby.